this week, JKIA, the roofs were leaking. And
neighboring countries are laughing at us.
The CS Murkomen, the transport minister, said that we blame Uhuru for poor workmanship. The runway was not well lit. And if you look at now, we are in a process of expanding the airport. What is your take of all this shebang of bad runway,
of course,
leaking roofs?
Of course, Uhuru built that particular terminal.
Yes.
And he built it in a very dramatic and chaotic manner. Because if you remember when President Uhuru came in, the first thing he did, which was very controversial, was cancel the Greenfield terminal contracts that were held by Jimmy Wanjigi.
Yes.
A lot of Kenyans don't follow this stuff in detail, but that was a big fight, a really big fight, that actually culminated in Jimmy Wanjigi supporting Honorable Raila Odinga, at some point having his house destroyed, and Jimmy Wanjigi coming out onto media and addressing the country and saying, I want to inform Kenyans that this government was actually formed in my house. I have hosted the president in my home, together with the Deputy President Ruto and Honorable Raila, and just to imagine that Uhuru has had the audacity to come and bring GSU and destroy this home, and this is the home he knows. I mean, all of this stuff was really, really crazy. And, you know, the fact of the matter is that that new terminal and the new contracts and the cancellation of even the bus service at the time was all under Uhuru. What Murkomen should do as a leader, though, is not dwell on that, is take charge as a minister, you know, and maybe just mention that in passing, but take charge and do the repairs proactively and not be seen as a leader to be making excuses. Because first of all, to have leaking water in an airport is inexcusable.
Inexcusable.
To justify it and explain it is mediocrity. I like to give this example many times. You know, we have to be, and I think it's also there in the Bible, we have to be practical in a very pragmatic fashion. If I'm in a GK car, for instance, as a PS or as whatever, and I don't know Esther, but I find her giving birth on the road, you know, no, it's true. You cannot say, oh, you know, I don't have a work ticket, I don't have permit. You shelve all those things. You
and
get Esther, you take charge, you get her to the hospital immediately and get her to have a safe delivery. That's leadership. So you don't start explaining to Kenya in the media, to Kenyans in the media about Uhuru and their contracts, etc. You take charge, then you can explain all those things later. But it's inexcusable for an airport to be in that shape, a new terminal. And if you follow social media, which I do, neighboring countries, specifically Uganda, Tanzania, and even Rwanda, this past week and the week before, they are openly laughing at Kenya. So something is wrong. And I talk to these people privately, publicly, and I tell them, you know, it's not enough to just defend ourselves. CEO, something is wrong. We're trending for the wrong reasons. You know, His Excellency Museveni explained only yesterday or the day before, and that was trending, that his landlocked country that gets fuel channeled through Kenya, he's looking to go elsewhere because it's inflated. The one coming from Kenya is overpriced by 59%. That's a damning statement. That's a president explaining that. And we've been asking on this show, why is fuel 217? Are you kidding me? And the explanations by Churchill do not suffice. By the way, CEO, and I don't mean to take up so much time, you know, I must warn Kenyans, and I have done this many a time. When a government is lazy and incompetent, you know, sometimes Kenyans go on social media, then they taunt them. Oh, we're getting 300. They'll put. You don't do that. No, you don't do that. They said, oh, I'm sure you'll say the conflict between Gaza and Israel. Churchill was like, eh? So he went, he's like, yeah, you know there's a conflict in, yes. Because you're talking of money. So for them, they're like, you know, it's worth the try because the return is so big. He actually said, you know, it could go to 300 because of Gaza. I mean, it's rubbish.